Hey guys, this is Megan with Left in Knots, and today I'm ready to take you on to part 3 of my corner to corner crochet video tutorial. Parts 1 and 2 have already been posted to my YouTube channel and are also available on my website www.leftinknots.com. And these video tutorials are filmed to support my Fallen Arrows blanket crochet along, which started February 1st. And we're now moving on to part 3 of that pattern out of 4 total parts. If you're just finding this project now, the pattern will be available for free on my blog indefinitely, and these videos will be able to help you with any corner to corner crochet project that you have. So I hope that you find them useful. And if you're making the Fallen Arrows blanket, don't forget to share it with me on either Facebook or Instagram. I really love seeing your work. I love seeing all the different color combinations and different yarn used. So please share those with me. I'd love to see them. So for part 3, in part 2, we talked about crocheting what I call corner to corner maintaining rows, which were the rows that allowed us to make this rectangular shape. And what that meant is we were still increasing with the chain 5 on this side, but then when we were working on this side, we were actually decreasing our stitch count. So we maintained 15 stitches across for several rows in a row, and that's what allowed us to make this rectangular shape where it's longer on this one side. And that's what the Fallen Arrows blanket looks like as well if you're making that project. It's not a square blanket. It's a rectangle. So now we're ready to move on to the point where we're decreasing on both sides to then work back and forth to this final point where you will end with just one square, just like we started with only one square. So these are decreasing rows. And the great news is it's really easy. You've already done everything that you need to do to know how to do these. So here I am at the end of row 20, and I'm just at the point where I'm turning to go into row 21 to work back up this way. Again, all of my odd rows are worked left to right, all of my even rows are worked right to left. And I just recommend that you keep track of the direction that you're going on your graph as you go. So remember, when we get to the end of our decreasing side of the row, we slip stitch into the last chain 2, and then instead of continuing, we turn our piece, and now we slip stitch in these 1, 2, 3 half double crochets that we made in our last stitch. And then chain 2 and start your row again. Now, that was the same edge that we've been decreasing on, so that looks the same as it has. I will go ahead and crochet this row all the way to the end here, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I get to this last stitch here where we're decreasing on this next side. Okay, so I finished all but one stitch of this next row. Again, I'm coming back up this way, and I'll crochet this last stitch, but you can see that it does not extend, so we're decreasing on this side as well. So this is going to make the third corner of our piece. We started in our first corner when we just started decreasing on one side of the piece only. We made the second corner, and now we're going to make this third corner by decreasing on the other side of the piece as well. So I'm going to crochet my last square, and like I said, this is something we've already covered, already done. It's just another decrease. So again, instead of this side is the side of the piece that you have been chaining 5 and then half double crocheting in that third chain from the hook, You're not going to do that anymore. You're going to stop when you get to this last chain 2, turn your piece, and then slip stitch across to then decrease and make that corner. So now, I'll flip it this way. We've got corner number 1, 2, and 3. And that's all you really need to know for decrease rows. I'm going to keep working back and forth in these rows, decreasing, and then I'll come back one more time just to show you that very last little corner. All right, so I'm back. I've continued all of those decrease rows from our chart, and I'm now onto this very last little square for the corner that I want to show you. It's no different. I just thought you might like to see how it works up all at the end. You're going to do your 3 slip stitch, chain 2, 3 half double crochet in that chain 2 space, and then slip stitch to your last chain 2 space, and that is how you finish off the squares of a corner to corner piece. It's not uncommon for them to be a little bit distorted. You can block them or just stretch them into shape. And then what we'll do with the Fallen Arrows blanket, and what I recommend you do with any really any corner to corner project, is add a single crochet edging around the outside of the piece. And you can actually add more than 1 row of single crochet, and I will show that to you in part 4 of our video tutorial. We're going to add several rows of single crochet, and then I'm going to show you a spike stitch border like I have pictured in the Fallen Arrows crochet along blanket. So again, the Fallen Arrows blanket can be found at my website, www.leftandknots.com, along with all of my other photo tutorials and video tutorials and a lot of other free patterns. Otherwise, I will see you next time for our 4th and final part of this project.